Hello everyone! In this week's video, I'm painting on my sketchbook cover. So this is my current sketchbook. It is a Strathmore drawing paper sketchbook. I got it as a Christmas present like 7 years ago. One year my parents got me a bunch of different sketchbooks because they were all on sale. When I finished my last sketchbook, I was going to buy a new one, but then I told myself I should try to use some of the ones my parents got me that I have hiding in my art cabinet. So yeah, I've been using this one. It's a nice sketchbook, but it's definitely only for a dry medium. The paper is pretty thin. I've enjoyed using it. However, I've never been a very big fan of the cover. I mean, it's a very pretty drawing, but the lady is kind of intimidating to me. Or it feels like she's judging me, and I just never feel super inspired when I look at the cover of the sketchbook. So I've seen other people paint on the cover of their sketchbooks, and it's always been something I've wanted to try. And since I'm not a super big fan of this cover, I think it's a good time to try painting on the cover. To help me customize this sketchbook, Arteza has sent me some lovely supplies. Thank you so much, Arteza, for working with me again. Oh, also, Arteza also gave me this coupon code, so if you order stuff from their website, you can save a little bit of money. I'll put the code up on screen for you to use. So first we have this holographic self-adhesive vinyl. This pack comes with 16 sheets in a wide range of colors. Look at how shiny this is. It's so amazing. If you watched my channel for a while, you probably know that I really like shiny things. So I'm very excited to use this on my sketchbook. I plan to cut this vinyl to make my own holographic stickers. So to do this, I also have this hobby knife. You can use this for a variety of arts and craft projects. It's suitable for materials like paper, cardboard, vinyl, foam, tape, felt, cloth, plastic, and leather. Lastly, we have this self-healing cutting mat. It is 12 inches by 18 inches. According to Arteza, this is the ideal surface to measure and cut paper, vinyl, fabrics, photos, and plastics. The self-healing surface absorbs cuts and prevents your tools from dulling. I've never had a cutting mat before, so I'm really excited to try it out. So now I need to plan out my design for the sketchbook cover. I decided I wanted to do something The Legend of Zelda themed because I've been in a Zelda mood recently. Well, I'm always in a Zelda mood, but I've been even more so the past couple of weeks for some reason. I keep having the urge to play Ocarina of Time. So for my design, I wanted to have a silhouette of Link along with the Triforce. This first design was okay, but it wasn't totally what I had in mind. My second idea was to have a piece of the Triforce with Link's silhouette cut out of it. I thought this was kind of cool, but I'm not super confident in my cutting abilities, so I wasn't sure if I would be able to do something that detailed with the vinyl. I was starting to run out of ideas, so I started to look back at my previous drawings of Link for inspiration. I then found this drawing I did of Ocarina of Time Link. This was actually a commission I did for one of my patrons. Thank you so much for commissioning me. When I saw this, I thought it'd be cool to have the silhouette of this Link along with the Hylian crest at the bottom. I liked this idea, so I decided to go with it. So now we're going back to my sketchbook. First I'm going to paint the cover a solid color with this Arteza outdoor acrylic paint. My sketchbook won't be outdoors, but this paint has a sealer in it, so I thought it'd be good to use on the front of my sketchbook since the paint is kind of durable and it shouldn't get like scratched and stuff. I was going to paint the cover green because green is kind of Link's color, at least it was before Breath of the Wild. Now his color is kind of blue. Well, I looked through all of my different green paint, but all of the greens that I liked were all semi-translucent and not completely opaque. That means I would need to do multiple coats of the paint, and I didn't really feel like doing multiple coats, so I chose this blue just because I like it and it's completely opaque. I also feel like it'll look really nice with the gold of the Triforce. So I just used a really big brush and put a ton of paint over the sketchbook. The sketchbook probably could have used 2 coats of paint, but after the first coat, the cover was really starting to buckle, so I wasn't sure if it would be able to handle 2 coats. So I didn't do 2 coats, and plus I kind of wanted to keep some texture because I'd be painting on it again when I add Link. So yeah, I only did 1 coat. To get the silhouette of Link onto the cover, I'm going to use my Arteza transfer paper. I cut the paper in half to make it into 2 smaller pieces. So I place the transfer paper with the dark side down and tape it into place. I then place my design on top of that and tape that into place. Next, I use the pencil to draw along the edge of my design. Wherever I apply pressure to the paper is where my design will transfer. I make sure to draw along the inside edge of my design and not the outer side, because or else my design would get kind of wider by just a little bit, and I don't want that to happen, so I drew on the inside of the design. So after drawing all around my design, I lift up the paper and now it's on my sketchbook. I'm going to fill in Link with this Arteza outdoor acrylic paint in the color black. I was originally thinking about using the vinyl for Link's silhouette, but as I mentioned, I'm not super confident in my cutting abilities, so I decided to use the paint instead. I really like this paint because it's super thick, so I only needed to do 1 coat of paint, because it always feels kind of bothersome when you have to do multiple coats. Also, it may drive some people a little crazy that I don't paint the area around the spiral binding of the sketchbook, but I just didn't feel like trying to paint around that tiny area, and I couldn't figure out how to take off the cover without breaking the binding of the sketchbook. So yeah, I just keep that area brown. It doesn't bother me too much, but it might bother other people, but it's my sketchbook, so... Also, this paint is kind of glossy and it really reflects my lights that I have set up for filming. Under normal lighting, it doesn't look nearly as reflective. So now that Link is finished, it's time to use the holographic vinyl for the crest. First, I need to pick which color I wanted to use, and there are so many pretty colors. One thing that is really cool about the paper is that it changes in color depending on how the light hits it. So I was taking that into consideration when picking a color. I decided to go with this one. It's a really nice gold color and the hue shift is really pretty when I turn it. It looks kind of pinky and bluey and it's really pretty. So on the back of the vinyl, I transfer my design using the transfer paper like I did with the cover. For a second, I was concerned that my design wouldn't be facing the right way when I flipped it around. But the design is symmetrical, so it doesn't matter. But if you have an unsymmetrical design, you want to make sure you flip your design when tracing it onto the paper, because then when you flip it back around, it'll be facing the way you want it to be instead of being flipped the other way. I hope that makes sense. But my design was symmetrical, so it doesn't really matter. So now it's time to use the hobby knife, and I was kind of nervous about using it for some reason. I wanted the design to turn out nice. Thankfully, once I started cutting, things went really smoothly. The blade is really sharp, so it cuts right through the vinyl without any issue. Also, can I just say cutting on a cutting mat is really, really nice. When working on craft projects, I often use an old plastic plate as my cutting board, but an actual cutting board is so much nicer. It gives the surface for my knife to kind of grip onto, and it's way easier to control. I was able to cut out the shape without much trouble. Yay! Plus, the mat is really durable. After I was done cutting, I didn't see any damage on the board. So if you're into crafts, I totally recommend getting a cutting mat. It's really nice. So now that the crest is cut out, I can apply it to my sketchbook. This is self-adhesive vinyl. It's not heat transfer vinyl. So it's basically like a big sticker. I just peel off the backing and then apply it onto my sketchbook. I'm really glad I had the shape of where the crest goes on the bottom of Link. It made it way easier to place the stickers. I didn't want them to be super wonky or out of place, so it was really nice to have a reference of where to place them. So now let's take a look at the final result. So here is my customized sketchbook. This is my first time doing something like this and I had so much fun. I love the shiny vinyl. I have my sketchbook setting out and I keep getting distracted when I walk past it because the colors are so shiny and pretty. Also, I'm getting super close to finishing this sketchbook, so I should be able to do a tour of it sometime soon. Thank you so much to Arteza for sending me these supplies. I had so much fun using them. Also, don't forget to use this coupon code if you choose to buy anything so you can save some money. Thank you so much to my wonderful patrons for helping support this channel. It means so much to me. And thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next week in my next video. Bye!